Good morning and good evening, everyone, as this is the Rooftop Sports, and here I am hopelessly watching South Korea go up against Australia, as this could be South Korea's final game of the World Baseball Classic, because they have everything stacked up against them going into this matchup because of the loss that South Korea suffered, because of the loss that they did suffer against Taiwan. They are stacked up. Everything is stacked up against them, especially with the numbers that Korea needs. Korea, here's the thing, because of all these tiebreakers, and I'm going to read this to you, and maybe I should actually just go over the national anthems first. Oh, yes, you betcha, BC. I'm doing the World Cup as well. I'm going to try to do as many games as I can. And before we get into any of these scenarios, tiebreakers, and the game itself, excuse me, it is time for us to do the national anthem. First, we're going to do the national anthem of Australia. So everyone, please stand for the national anthem of Australia. And that was the national anthem of Australia. And now it is time for the national anthem of South Korea, aka Egukka. Oh my gosh, I was wearing my hat for Australia. Oh my gosh, that's probably going to be karma. My apologies to you, Aussies. Aussie, Aussie, oi, 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 oi. Anyways, it is time for the national anthem of South Korea. And that is the national anthem of South Korea, aka Egukka. Now that the national anthems are concluded, I can now smoothly transition into what Korea has going against them in the World Baseball Classic. All right, here we are. Now, let's see. I'm afraid that this may be a disappointing tournament for Koreans too. Oh, it already is. Like losing to Taiwan is all you need to know. At least losing to Japan was more understandable. Australia facing Venezuela, Dominican Republic next round. Even if they make it, they'll get destroyed, which is a very good possibility. Going up against Venezuela and Venezuela and Dominican Republic is absolutely no funny business at all. But yeah, here is what the numbers are. Now first, let's go over the tiebreakers. So World Baseball Classic tiebreakers for pool play are determined primarily by not only head-to-head records. If 3 or more teams are tied, the rankings are decided by 1, lowest runs allowed divided by defensive outs, which is extremely confusing. 2, lowest runs allowed per defensive out. 3, highest batting average. And 4, drawing of lots. Tiebreaker rules: 2-team tie. The winner of the head-to-head game between the 2 teams advances. 3 or more. If head-to-head cannot break a tie, a runs allowed formula is used. Total runs divided by total defensive outs in games only between tied teams. Relegation: the last place team in each pool is relegated and must requalify. Well, whatever. 3-way ties: if teams finish 3-1, the tiebreaker formula runs allowed by divided by defensive out is triggered. Here, I have a better tiebreaker. Just do run differential. Just like what the FIFA World Cup does. Make it easier and simple, not make these math geeks be put to work on this kind of stuff. Like, why? Man. It's horrible. I hate these rules so much. The World Baseball Classic really had to overcomplicate the tiebreaker rules, didn't they? Just do what FIFA does. Simple differential between forward and allowed. And I'm going to be following KBO English. KBO in English. You should definitely follow their Twitter. It goes, pitching aside, Korea loses it if any duo of Shinmin Jae and No Si-hwan Moon Bo-kyung go hitless. Korea wins if Shinmin Jae has 2 hits and No Si-hwan has 2 total bases. Korea demolishes if An Hyung, Kim Do-hyung, Shinmin Jae all have multi-hit games. So basically, Korea just has to score a crap ton of offense. But it gets better here. So Korea wins. So here's how it goes. If the results go by Korea winning 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, 4-0, 4-1, 4-2, or 4-3, Australia advances. If Korea wins 5-0, they advance. But if Australia scores 1 to 4 runs, if Korea scores 5, Australia advances. If it's Korea's up 6-0 and 6-1, they'll be fine. But any more runs scored. So basically, Korea has to score very consistently and basically play perfect baseball if they are to advance due to these very complicated rule tiebreakers. And let's listen carefully to see what they're saying. Yeah, Japan's already made that spot. But yeah, if South Korea wins, then the tiebreakers are really going to be triggered. Yeah, Australia, if they win 6-5, yeah, Australia advances. Yeah, they said they got math to do. Taiwan rooting for Korea. Yeah, to some extent. But yeah, what really hurt Korea the most is the fact that Australia had just barely lost. They had just barely lost to China, not China, Japan 4-3. So that really messed everything up for South Korea. But South Korea, they just shouldn't have lost to Taiwan in the first place. Shouldn't the head to head be the first tiebreaker? Well, it is, but even if South Korea does beat Australia, it's still going to trigger a lot of math here. To give you an idea of how complicated that it really is, credit to KBO in English, but this is exactly what South Korea has to do to advance. Like, this is how complicated it really is. And they do this stuff by ranked by lowest quotient of fewest runs allowed divided by number of outs. Like, did they really have to complicate this? Man, this is funny. All right, what do we got? How's it going, Mr. Johnson? In soccer, it's points, goal differential, then yellow cards. Yes, that is true. And that's simple as it gets. Shouldn't that head to head be the first tiebreaker? Exactly, you would think. I mean, it is. At least not that would still prevent punting games. Yeah, I know. Technically, Australia could have just forfeited the game, lose only 3-0, and they would just advance. That's why these tiebreaker rules are really bad. And I'm not complaining just because South Korea has everything against them. Like, even if it was the other way around, I'd still be like, yeah, this is really stupid. Trust me. But everyone's just gonna say I'm just butthurt because South Korea is just in a very bad position. World Baseball Classic really had to Oprah complicate this, didn't they? The World Baseball Classic really just had to overcomplicate the tiebreaker rules, didn't they? Just way too much math. Like, you know what they say about math? You know what math actually stands for in the letters alone? Mental abuse to the head. Literally. South Korea really had to overcomplicate these tiebreaker rules, didn't they? Would never go this far. And now here's the starting lineups for South Korea. We got To Young Kim, Jemai Jones, Jung Hoo Lee, Hyun Min An, Ho Kyung Moon, Si Hwan Ro, Ju Won Kim. They just kind of skipped it through. Hesung Kim is not playing. He just jammed his finger, so it just continues to get worse for South Korea, doesn't it? As he's been one of the best hitters for South Korea. So we got some injury problems going on. Now here's going to be the first pitch brought to you by SeatGeek the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. And we are underway here in the Tokyo Dome. Do Young Kim has actually been kind of a decent player for South Korea. He did hit that huge home run against the Chinese Taipei, the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back. And that is going to be strike two. So it's simple for Australia. All they have to do is just win and they're in. South Korea has to win, but they also have to win by at least 5 or more. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up, and that's obviously not going to be a good start. Second baseman's there, and he makes the catch, and that's going to be one away. And now is LeCan Wells. He's the starter. Now here's Jemai Jones. Way up high, and that is going to be ball one. So basically, South Korea cannot afford to give up runs if they want to make it simple themselves. Now it's 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be up high for ball two. Now we're at 2-0. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Now here's Jones for the next pitch. And now here it is. And that's going to be a 3-1 count for Jones, as that was up high. Now we're at 3-1 pitch. And now here it is. And now it's going to be popped up. And that is going to be in play. The third baseman's there. And he makes the catch. And that is going to be 2 outs already going against South Korea. And now here's Jung-Hoo Lee. And that is going to be a strike. He's actually played very well in this tournament. He's batting .308. He's batting 4 for 13. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to second base. Throw to first. And that's going to be in time. A 1-2-3 inning for Australia. And we go into the bottom of the first. No score. So it's a 1-2-3 inning against South Korea. Australia is up. And yes, you saw in the previous picture that the World Baseball Classic just had to overcomplicate these tiebreaker rules, didn't they? Be right back. I'm going to get some orange because I'm in the mood for citrus.
SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you.
I am back and need to have a little bit of an orange. Yeah, it's 3:14 in the morning, and I'm having to cover a World Baseball Classic matchup. Ju Young-sun is going to be the starter for South Korea with the LG Twins. He's 11-6 with a 3.41 ERA. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. So basically, Korea cannot allow any runs. They allow one run, they have to score. They have to win. They have to score 6 runs. If they allow 2, they have to score 7. So basically, they just have to score and allow no more than, and that's going to be a swing and a miss. And if South Korea scores 8 runs, but Australia scores 1 run or anything more, Taiwan advances. And now the pitch. That's going to be up high for a ball. So basically, for Australia, if they are to score 2 runs, if they're to score 2 runs themselves, I don't know. Now the pitch, that's going to be low for a ball. So if South Korea scores 8 runs, it's over for Australia. So basically, this is a chance for like any of the bottom teams to have some kind of a breathing chance. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, foul ball, actually. Now we're at 2-2, the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and still fouled. Just by the fact that Australia is able to make contact, this really could give the indication of how tough this game could be. So if Australia scores 2 runs, Korea cannot score more than 7. The pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to center field. Jung-Hoo Lee is there, and he makes the catch. And now here is the pitch to Mead, and that's going to be a strike. Curtis Mead up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. Now we got runner on first base. And now if Australia is to score their first run, which could very much happen, South Korea has to score 6 runs. Because I guess they're trying to make it fair for at least Taiwan or something. Now here is Whitfield up to the plate. Now the pitch. That's going to be low for a ball. Now we're at 1-0. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Now we're at 1-1. Now the pitch. And he tries to frame it, but that's going to be a ball. 2-1. Now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And he tries to frame it again, but it's going to be 3-1. Very questionable call by the umpire, but the ABS wouldn't have saved them anyway. Now we're at 3-1. And the throwback to first. And that is not in time. So if Australia scores more than 3 runs, but if Korea scores 8, then Australia, for them, it's over. Now the 3-1 pitch, and that is a strike. Now we're at full count, 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. And that is going to be ball 4, take your base. And now we got runners on first and second with just 1 out. And already, Korea is putting themselves in a very unfavorable position. Ha-Sung Kim is out for this game because of an injury. So it just gets more challenging for them. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Alex Hall is the hitter. He's a powerful switch hitter. He is 4 of 12 in the tournament with 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. It just gets more difficult and difficult for South Korea. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike one. Now the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. The catcher is really trying to sell the frame, but the umpire is just not having it. Even the ABS rules wouldn't save them. Daniel Barry, you're up 2. Good morning to you. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to left field, but luckily Jones is there. And he makes the catch. And now it's going to be nobody running, but you would think the way Australia is hitting the ball, you would think it's only a matter of time that they'll be set for an offensive explosion. And now here is the next batter. And now the pitch to Dale. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Jared Dale is the hitter. Now it's a 1-0 pitch, 1-0 count, and now the pitch. Low for a ball. That is 2-0. Pitching is not looking particularly good for South Korea right now. And the crazy thing is, and now it's going to be the 2-0 pitch, and that's going to be a strike. If Australia scores 4 runs, then Korea is pretty much, if they score 4 runs, Korea is mathematically eliminated from the tournament. And now here is the 2-1. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball, 3-1. Son is just absolutely struggling right now. He has 24 pitches already, so that's going to go eating into the bullpen. And the bullpen hasn't been any particularly good either for South Korea either. And now the 3-1 pitch. And that is a strike. It's a full count, 3-2. And they need to get this strikeout. Now here's the pitch. And runners went, and that's going to be a foul ball because runners can take off. And now it's going to be the 3-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball right to third base, the throw to first. And that's going to be in time. And that is going to retire the side as South Korea got themselves out of a huge jam. And we are going to go into the top of the second inning. South Korea had 2 men on a 3-2 count. Australia had 2 men on a 3-2 count, and they got out of it. South Korea got themselves out of it at the skin of their teeth. Fuqua Johnson goes, Joe, I respect your dedication. It is 3 a.m. in Seattle. I know what I'm doing is absolutely insane. And this is not the first time I've done this. I've done this for Korea matches. I did this for the Dodgers and Padres game for the Korea series in March in 2024. So this is nothing new to me. And then as a Korean American, I have experiences getting up at 3 a.m. for a game like this. And now we are back from the break. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Taiwan, you bet they're watching. Any Taiwanese fan, they are definitely watching this game. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep left field. And that's going to be off the wall. And the throw to second base. And that is going to be a long single for South Korea. A good way to start this inning. And now Korea has an opportunity to put some runs on for the offense. That was a nice hit to left field. It was off the wall. But Korea still has a very solid chance to get this going. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Bo-Gyung Moon is up to the plate. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball belted to deep right center field. And that is gone. That is a huge mammoth home run for South Korea. Bo-Gyung Moon puts the team on the board 2-0. And now, assuming that Australia doesn't score, the magic number is 3 for South Korea. What a way to get started. It is South Korea 2, Australia 0. And that definitely gave me a cup of coffee here at 3:29 a.m. And what a way to get started. Let's keep this going, baby. A huge mammoth home run for South Korea as they take a 2-0 lead. And they are very much in this tournament. The pitch, and that's going to be up high for a ball. But it's too bad a 2-0 lead is just not going to be enough. And I absolutely needed that. Just one swing makes a huge difference. And that's going to be low for a ball. That was just absolutely beautifully blasted. Fritz, how's it going? For someone that woke up at 3 a.m. like me and you. And now the pitch. Maybe I could use a little tip money, you know? I don't care. I really shouldn't care. I'm doing this for the love of the game. I didn't come here because I am entitled to get paid. I came here because of my dedication and my love for my country, home country. The pitch, and that's going to be a strike. It was a 3-0. He was expecting to walk, and the ABS would have saved him on that one. Now we're at 3-1 pitch. And now the pitch. And yep, strike 2. And that was definitely a strike, unfortunately. Now we're at 3-2 count. Full count. And now the pitch. And ball 4, take your base. Now you got runner on first base with still nobody out. Now here is the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Ju-Won Kim is the batter. No outs so far. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. Inside, but that is going to be a strike. But the ABS wouldn't have allowed that. That would have been easily challenged. Sandra, one of my members, is on the show. Thank you for being here. Sandra of Canada. Now the 1-2 pitch. And that's low for a ball. Hits the dirt. And it's going to be 2-2. South Korea's magic number is 3 as long as Australia does not score. As now we're at 2-2. And now here is a throw to first. That's going to be not in time. And you would think the more South Korea scores, the less incentivized Australia is going to feel to make a comeback. Now we're at 2-2. Way up high for a ball, and it's going to be 3-2. Now we're at 3-2. And now the throw back to first, and that's going to be not in time. As now we're at 3-2, the full count. And now the pitch. And now it's going to be a fly ball to right center field, and he's going to make the catch. And that's going to be the first out of this inning. South Korea still needs 3 runs to put themselves in position to make it to the second round. Now we got the next batter. Got a lead at first base with the lefty. You got to be very cautious. And now the runner goes, and now the throw to second base, and it is not in time. A stolen base for South Korea. And now they have a runner in scoring position to put themselves to hopefully go up 3-0 to make the magic number of 2. And big shout out to KBO English for making it, for at least making it easier to know exactly what South Korea has to do. And now the pitch. And that is going to be up high for a ball. Now we're at 2-0. And now here is the pitch to Park. Up high for a ball. That's going to be 3-0. And also, thank you for the ones that are actually here. Thank you very much for being here. And now we're at 3-0. Now here is the pitch. And ball 4, take your base. And now we got runners on first and second with 1 out. But there is a double play opportunity for Australia. Now, the biggest way to help this channel, it's not so much of donating money. Sure, like the video helps. Sure, subscribing helps. But what also helps is the engagement in the chat. So please engage as much as you can. Put in any comment you possibly can, as I do have 4 people, maybe like 4 to 7 people in the audience. It's too bad in Twitter they can't really comment very much. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. This is Shin up to the plate. Shin has taken over for Kim Es-hong, who suffered an injury. Now we're at 1-0. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Got 7 people on here. Show yourselves. Don't hide. Now we're at 2-0. And now here's the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to left field, but that's not going to get it done. And that's out number 2. One good swing of the bat, and Korea could have been up 5-0. Oh boy, I think the manager's coming out and he's going to pull out his starter, isn't he? Yep, he is gone. And I think they had to make that decision because they can't afford any errors. Well, the good news is South Korea is now up 2-0 after a mammoth home run done by themselves. But Australia has just pulled their starter because he's just struggling. And right now there are 2 runners on with 2 outs. Mexico versus USA tonight at 5 p.m. In order to advance, Korea needs to beat Australia by at least 5 runs while allowing fewer than 3 runs. Otherwise, Australia will advance, even if they lose to Korea. We got Cole Wayne, if I even say his name correctly. Cole Wynn, and that's going to be a ball. They're back to the top of the lineup, and we got Do Young Kim. With one swing of the bat, they could make it 5-0. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a check swing, just an absolute atrocious swing. He just had to do a check swing. Like, what was that? And that just retired the side. Kim Do-young, what was that? A check swing? You're better than that. We got Brady Farkas on the Refuse to Lose podcast. He stated something that I think is telling. Colombia is using Michael Arroyo in the World Baseball Classic as a DH, and they are using 38-year-old Donovan Solano, who is not affiliated with ball right now at second base. Just something to think about as you discuss whether or not he should make the Mariners. Oh, Mick, 536 says Korea stinks. I know, right? By 5 runs or better, hit the snot out of it. Fritz, to give you a better idea, here's what it actually looks like. Looks like this. Yeah, so they have to score more. They have to score a lots and lots and lots of runs. That's all I can say. In some ways, I think whatever these teams, these tiebreakers do, I think it just does promote tanking. If they did it the FIFA way, I think Korea would already pretty much be in if the scores were standing as we are back from the break. Oh, wow. Korea's starter is done for the night as it just gets even more difficult. Well, they have limited guys right now. And now that has to give them time to warm up, and that's going to be advantage to Australia. Yep, that's going to trigger another commercial break. It just keeps getting better for South Korea as their starter just went down with an injury. He is out for the game, so now Korea has to scramble, bring in another pitcher. He now not going to get much time to warm up, so that's advantage to Australia right there. Oh, great. They bring in a 41-year-old. That's just great. And that's going to be a strike. Now it's the 0-1 pitch. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Robbie Glendinning is up to the plate. And now here is the pitch. Way up high and inside for a ball. That's going to be 2-1. Had it been just for FIFA rules, now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2. So had they won 2-0, Korea would have won on run differential alone. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a blooper, and that is going to be a base hit to center field, and Australia continues to be aggressive on their offensive end. It just continues to get worse for South Korea. Now we got Wingrove up to the plate. He looks like a big hitter too. The pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball, foul ball. At first, I thought it was going to be a double play opportunity just by the angle of it, but I was wrong. And now here's the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball fouled again. Wasn't going to be a double play opportunity if it was a few inches to the left, to my left at least. I don't know. Now we got the 0-2. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball, double play ball. It's going to be a tag to second, throw to first, and barely in time. And that is going to be the pitcher's best friend, the double play. That is exactly what Korea needed, is the double play. Korea is going to have quite the bullpen day because of their situation. Nice tag. And a throw to second base. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball for Perkins. Now the pitch. Now here's, caught by the pitcher, and that's going to retire the side. That was a comebacker, and Korea gets out of a slight kind of a little jam, and we will be back after this commercial break. Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
And now we're back from the break, and this is Jahmai Jones, the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. It is possible extra bases. He's going to throw to second base, throw to second, and not in time. And now we got a runner at second base with nobody out, a runner in scoring position, and let's get this going. This is about trying to get to the right to play either Dominican Republic or Venezuela at this point. And now here is Jung-Hoo Lee up to the plate. And now the pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball. Just for the right to play in Miami. Now the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Korea is very much in this at this very moment. Now it's 2-0. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. It might be better to like an NCAA football type tourney. I don't know if there's no reason. Yeah, I know. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a liner, and that's going to be a base hit. That's going to score in a run. That's going to be a double. Jones is going to score, and Jung-Hoo Lee gets a second base on a stand-up double, and now the magic number is 2. If Australia does not score at all, South Korea is coming out very aggressively. Nice hits, much better hitting than they did in the Taiwan game and the Japan game already against Australia. Jung-Hoo Lee with a beautiful hit. That was like an Ichiro type swing, and that is exactly what they needed. Australia is now in trouble. And here's the thing. It gets worse for Australia because if Australia scores, if Korea scores one more run, Australia would be in an insurmountable situation. So Australia scores any more runs, like they have to be at a very insurmountable position. They would have to win by 5 runs. They have to win with 5 runs or 7. So now Australia is in a now very difficult position, but so is Korea. So looks like Australia just pulled another pitcher because South Korea is now up 3-0. Now the magic number is 2. And that is if Australia doesn't score. But if Australia scores any runs, well, yeah, no. It's stupid. Like the XFL is using run differential. I know, like, no, in the FIFA World Cup, it's just purely by differential between the scoring and the scores allowed. Yeah, but baseball just likes to make it extra complicated, don't they? Imagine if FIFA adopted the World Baseball Classic rules for tiebreakers. That would just be an absolute nightmare. But I know they would not be silly enough to do that. The Sea Dragons. Oh, the Sea Dragons. Do we miss them? Now here is on the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. South Korea has plenty of time to give themselves an opportunity to advance in the World Baseball Classic. And now the 1-0 pitch, and that's going to be outside for a ball. It's going to be 2-0. Hyunmin An up to the plate. Now the pitch, and that is a strike. And I think that was a really good pitch to swing at, but he did not think so. And now the pitch, and that's going to be right in there for a strike. I know you don't like hitting curveballs, but still should have swung at that one because it was going to be at the plate. But what do I know better? As it is 2-0, 2-2, with a man on second base. So Korea has really good opportunities to keep scoring. As we're at 2-2, and now here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss, strike 3. So you won't hit a good pitch, but you'll swing. You won't swing at a good pitch, but you will swing at a crappy pitch. Sounds about right. And now the pitch, and that's going to be up high for a ball. Jung-Hoo Lee is up at second base. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. That's going to score another run. Here comes Jung-Hoo Lee, and South Korea has now taken a 4-0 lead, and the magic number, as long as Australia does not score, is 1. 1-1. Oh my goodness, what a start by South Korea. Oh my goodness. Now the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. It just keeps getting more exciting for South Korea. C1 Rose, the hitter, and a huge swing and a miss. And now the pitch, way outside for a ball. That's going to be 1-2. Now the pitch, swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. Horrible swing. Oh no, looks like the coach is coming out. Looks like they're going to try to bring in the lefty. Oh my goodness, Australia just keeps burning through their pitchers. And there's going to be another commercial break. It just keeps getting more complicated for Australia as Australia just yanked another pitcher, and it's not even. I think it's, let me see what inning it is. So Australia, in just 3 innings in, just yanked another pitcher with South Korea up 4-0. They're only 1 run away from advancing to the tournament, assuming that Australia does not score at all. Still a long ways to go in this game. But it gets dangerous for South Korea because no matter how many runs Korea scores, if Australia scores 3 runs, then they will be out of the tournament. So I would think that Australia, if they're going to lose to Korea, let's say they are down 8-0, I think they're still going to be incentivized to at least score runs just to say F you to Korea at this point. Oh, wow. They brought in their starter that was brilliant against the Chinese Taipei. So Korea's offense might just get shut down the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. Korea's up 4-0. They need one more run to put themselves in position to advance, but still long ways to go. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike. And you can hear the chant. If you're watching this game, you can hear the chant of 대한민국. Ju-Won Kim is up to the plate. He's 3 for 11, but he's got an 0-2 count going against him. And now here's the 0-2 pitch. And now here's going to be a grounder, and that's going to be an easy play to first base. And that is in time. But Korea is able to get 2 more runs as they now have a 4-0 lead. But it's still a very long ways to go. Korea could not capitalize anymore on their 4-0 lead. So now it's the Aussies that's going to be up to the plate, to the bat. And it's going to get tougher.
SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you.
And we are back from the break. And that's going to be a ground ball and fouled. Now the 0-2. And that's going to be a foul ball again. Now we're at 0-2. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. As we're now at 1-2. Now the pitch. And that's going to be fouled back. Tim Cannelli. They're saying that it could be his final game. And that's going to be ball. And it should have been a strike. Now the 2-2 pitch. Low for a ball. Tim Cannelli started his baseball career with the Philadelphia Phillies. Did not exactly work out. And it looks like he never cracked a Major League Baseball start in his career. So he settled for Australia. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball. And he's better hurry to throw to first. And in time to get Tim Cannelli out. Travis Bazana is now up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a ball. Travis Bazana is now within the Cleveland Guardians organization. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. He mostly played in college. Played some baseball in Australia when he was a kid. Now the 2-0 pitch. It's going to be up high for a ball. Ball 3. And it gets dangerous for Korea. Now it's going to be 3-0. And now here is the pitch. And that is a strike. And now we're at 3-1. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss. And that is strike 2 on an 87. Now we're at 3-2. And now here's the pitch. And strike 3 called. And that is going to be 2 outs for Australia. Now we've got the next hitter up to the plate. Australia's got to get out of this inning really quick. Now the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball for Mead, as Mead, he got on base with a single last time around when Korea had to get themselves out of a jam. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. And now the pitch. And now it's going to be a hit to shortstop, throw to first, going to be in time. And that was an easy 1-2-3 inning for South Korea. And now we will go into the break. An easy 1-2-3 inning for South Korea. And now they are hoping to capitalize on this. Woo! We are back from the break. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. They have to win at least by 5 runs with Australia not scoring the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Ideally, you want Korea. You definitely want to go 8 runs. And now the pitch to basically give Australia kind of no incentive to wanting to win, or at least wanting to score. And now we're at 2-1. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. That's going to be 3-1 for Park. Now it's going to be 3-1, the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that nearly hit the dirt. Why'd you even swing at that? Do these Korean hitters take lessons from the Mariners of how to swing? Just terrible plate approach. As now we're at 3-2, and now the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Now here comes Shin up to the plate, the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Min-jae Shin's the batter. He's a .313 hitter in the KBO. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to the shortstop. Throw to first. That's going to be in time. Didn't really hustle on that one. It's going to be 2 outs. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to center field, but that's not going to go anywhere. And he makes the catch, and that's going to retire the side. That was caught by Whitfield. And South Korea suffers a 1-2-3 inning. A 1-2-3 inning against South Korea. And the worst part of it, the first batter, he swung at the dirt literally. And had he just stood there, he would have walked to first base, maybe giving Korea some momentum to score one more run. They had to score one more run. And we are back from the break. Pool C, final game between the Czechias, Czech Republic versus Japan. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And at that point, I wonder if Japan's just going to load manage that one. And we got a new pitcher. We got Hyungjun Sol. I think I would have kept the other pitcher in because he was pitching just fine. The pitch, swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike one. It's a 1-1 count so far. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to left field. No, Jones is going to catch it. Woo! Korea would have been forced to score like 2 more runs after that one. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And now it's going to be the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball, 2-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be just low for a ball. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike this time. As now it's going to be a 3-1 count. And now the pitch. And that is going to be strike 2. Now we're at 3-2. And now here's going to be a fly ball to left center field, but Jung-Hoo Lee makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 away. Now here is the next pitcher. Now here's the, and that's going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1 the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Now it's going to be 1-1. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a fly ball to left field, but that's going to be making the catch. And I got to go to the bathroom like now.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki tiki with barbecue chicken. You put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki tiki. Tiki tiki goes pineapple, garlic, feta cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're gonna spread some barbecue on top. And it's ready. Put it on the oven. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
Can't really see the start of the game anymore. How the late innings played out against some of that vanity innings they're playing out. Aussie arms and changing for the Aussie arms and the fact that they're pretty much unhittable. The last 6 innings. Fish and Wells gets a chase and a whip. Devon Jones double scored his last time up. 5 hits in this game for runs. 4 of the 5 hits have gone for extra bases.
And we are back from the break. That was a horrible trip. The pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. This is Jones up to the plate. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into the shortstop side, center field, who's calling for it. And he makes the catch, and that's going to be 1 away. Now here's Jung-Hoo Lee up to the plate. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Now the pitch. And now the pitch. And that was a curveball, and that's going to be a strike to Jung-Hoo Lee. And again, Korea has to score 1 more run to put themselves in mathematical position to advance to the next round. And now the pitch, way up high for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. As now we're at 2-2. Now the pitch. And he gets jammed up and popped up into left field territory. And that is way out of play. Now we're at 2-2. And he gets jammed up and popped up going into right center field. And he makes the catch. And that's going to be 2 outs already. Now we got Hyun-Min An up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And now the pitch. It's going to be inside for a ball. Now the pitch. As now it's 3-0 for On. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. I would have just said green light because there's nobody on base. Now the pitch. And that is a strike. He was trying to go for a walk. It was not a favorable pitch. But that's the advantage when you have a corner pitch. Now it's 3-2. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a fly ball to deep left field and fouled. That might actually be the confidence breaker for Korea. On nearly had that one. And it looked good from that angle too. And now the 3-2 pitch. And ball 4, take your base. That's kind of a consolation prize right there. And now here is Moon the pitch. And that is a strike. As now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And check swing. Did he go? He did not. And that's going to be 1-1. They're using the basketball tunes from the Sonics. Now it's going to be 1-1. He is 2 for 2. Now the throw to first, not in time. Wells has really put in a lot of pitches. He has 33 of them. We got Moon. Got an opportunity. And now the pitch. And now it's going to be a strike and the throw to second, way over. And that is going to be a stolen base. And now all you got to do is somehow poke it into the gap. And you can get a 5-0 lead there. Now we're at 1-2. But they are in danger of getting out of this inning by strikeout. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. I believe Moon hit the home run earlier in this game. Yep, it was Moon. And he has also doubled. So he has been a huge part of this Korean offense. This is for the opportunity for the quarterfinals, the pitch. And ball 2, just barely. And if Korea is to advance, they'll be playing the group winner of Venezuela and Dominican Republic. So it'll be tough either way. Now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep left field. Keep going. And that is going to be off the wall. That should be scoring the run. Korea is now up 5-0 on a long single by Moon. He has owned the majority of the runs. And if this game stands, Korea will go to the quarterfinals. Keep this up. But it's going to be a long freaking game, isn't it? And that was just an absolute blast, but Korea's still got to score more. What they've got is still not enough because if Australia scores anything, then they will advance, and that's going to be a swing and a miss to Rowe. Now it's going to be 0-1 the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball foul. And now it's going to be 0-2. And now the pitch. And strike 3 called. And that's going to retire the side. But, however, Korea is now in the driver's seat for the group. If the score stands, they will be advancing to the quarterfinals. So the good news is Korea is now up 5-0 on an RBI by Moon, long single. And if the score stands, Korea will be advancing to the quarterfinals. Dan Clark says the lack of depth in the Australian pen is going to be tested tonight. Australia needs the offense to spark life, as I cannot see the available relievers containing Korea. You would hope that's true, but Korea's pitching also isn't that much good either. Try our hand-breaded chicken tenders, perfectly seasoned and served with a choice of sides, golden fries, fluffy biscuits, homemade mashed potatoes, creamy mac and cheese, fresh side salad, fresh coleslaw, plus enjoy a dipping sauce on the side. Come in and treat yourself to the best comfort food around.
Visit us today and satisfy your cravings.
And we are back from the break. And now the pitch. And he went all the way, and that's going to be a strike. Even the broadcasters are very confused by the tie-breaking implications.
This is our first conversation with Nielsen.
And now the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball. Now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball drilled to left center field. Forget about that one. And just at a blink of an eye, Australia will now be advancing to the quarterfinals if the game stands. Oh my goodness. And that just happened. Just at a blink of an eye, Aussies now hit the home run. It's not what I wanted to see. So now if it's 5-1, Australia advances. So that means Korea have to score another run. And I said it. And now the pitch. Like scoring, like 5-0 was not going to be enough. Korea's pitching is just completely behind Major League standards, let alone Australia's standards. And now here is the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Just by that one run alone, Australia can advance. Now here is the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And the worst part of this, there is still nobody out. Now it's going to be 1-2. And now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 3.
They do have the arsenal that had a power.
Robbie Perkins up to the plate. And that's going to be a strike. Australia winning their in. Korea advances as long as they score the appropriate amount of runs. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. This game has actually been somewhat of a breeze. A lot of 1, 2, 3 innings have happened in this, with the exception of Korea scoring. And now it's going to be the 2-0 count and the 2-0, 1-0, 2-0 pitch, 1-0, 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. That's going to be 1-2. As now we're going to be at 1-2. And now the pitch. Up high for a ball. And that is going to be 2-2. Sparkle, Squeak, Twink, Goblin, how are you doing today? Looks like you're not a bot, unlike the other ones I see, like this one. As we are now at 2-2, and now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. After a home run given up, Korea has seemed to settle down. And now here is Tim Kennelly, the Aussie legend. That's going to be outside for a ball. They're saying that this could be his last professional game. He's an old man. And now the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a strike. And that is 1-1. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Thank goodness you're not a bot. You're a legitimate. I appreciate that. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. Now we're at 2-2. And the pitch. And that's going to be another foul ball. Tim Kennelly is just completely fighting it off. Now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be still a foul ball. Tim Kennelly still fighting it off. Tim Kennelly, two-time Helms Award winner. Modern ABL leader in hits and RBIs, home runs. 9 seasons in the minors with most of the Texas Rangers and the Philadelphia Phillies. 4 World Baseball Classics. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And that catcher's been very desperate to frame the ball. So he's played in 4. He's been playing all the way since 2013. And now it is going to be the 3-2 pitch, 8 pitch. And that's going to be another foul ball. Now it's going to be pitch number 9. And I think so is going to be done after this inning. Who do I look like, Sparkle? As now we're at 3-2. Now the 3-2 pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball right to the second baseman. Throw to first. That's going to be in time. But a very disappointing inning for South Korea, as now they have given up a run. Now they have to score again. The bad news is Australia now hits a home run. They score. So now if the game stands, they will be advancing to the quarterfinals. So whatever Korea is doing is not enough. So Korea now has to win 6-1 or anything more than that. But now here's the dangerous territory. If Korea scores, And any more runs that Australia scores, Taiwan will advance to the quarterfinals. And had South Korea just taken care of business against Taiwan, they would be themselves in the quarterfinals. They would be in a win and you're in situation.
Now sizzling at Apollo Mediterranean Greek food, come enjoy our flat-top grilled Greek chicken and beef, Slovaki tender, juicy and bursting with Mediterranean flavor, served with savory yellow rice, fresh daily cut veggies for our crisp salads, homemade hummus, plus warm pita, and our signature tzatziki, perfect for a fresh filling meal made with care. Cold beer available. Order now at apollogreekfood.com. Come visit us for a delicious meal and a cold beer. We'd love to serve you.
That's all too much. It should be a simple tournament. Maybe they overthink the whole thing. They did clearly overthink the whole thing. Why not just do the simple run differential and just call it a day? And Korea would be advancing to the quarterfinals. Now the pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball. I know. I hate the rules too, but they gotta live by them. The 2-0. And that's going to be a foul ball. He's definitely gotten a lot of attention. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. Yes, I'm on YouTube, Sparkle. Here, I'll give you the link. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Why are you pitching? Why are you swinging crap pitches at the dirt? Am I watching the Seattle Mariners style of baseball? Because it does drive me a lot nuts. Here goes Sparkle. And when you get to that channel, when you get to the YouTube part of it, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification, and you even have an option to donate to help this channel. The pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Korea's on a situation where if they are at 1 run, and now the pitch, and he tried to even check swing that, and that's going to be ball 1. If Australia is at 1 run, Korea has to score 1 more run. The pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. And shout out to the KBO in English Twitter channel. He's the one that put this all together. He did all the math himself. The pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep left field. And that is going to be off the wall. And he's going to be going to second base. And Tokyo Dome, take the wall down. Now there's a runner at second base. Runner in scoring position with 1 out. It should have been a home run, but their stupid wall. In Major League Baseball, I think that would be considered a home run. Korea's offense is still flowing, though. Nope, that was just below the wall line. Now here's Shin up to the plate. Now the pitch. All he has to do is just poke a single, and that might get the runner in. Min-jae Shin, who's batting .313. in the KBO. And now here's the pitch. And popped up, and that's not going to get it done. But it is foul ball well out of play. Really don't like this Tokyo Dome at all. Now the 1-1. Way outside for a ball, and that's going to be 2-1. Now the 2-1 pitch. Now here's going to be a liner caught by the third baseman. Definitely at least saved some almost saved a run, I would say. I don't know if he would have scored with that kind of feat, but either way, it was an excellent play at third base. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. You know that Kim Do-young is going to go for it. I think that actually could have gotten a run in. But Kim Do-young, it's now up to him. And now the pitch. Low for a ball that gets away, and that should be a free bag to third base. And now he is just 90 feet away from giving Korea a 6-1 lead. I can't cover USA because of the BS. Don't quit your day job. I had plans to get this day off, but now we got 2-0. And now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike one. Just lazy swings. He is 0 for 3, 3 for 16 in this entire series. Now we're at 2-1, the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit. That's going to score a run for Korea. And now if this game stands, Korea will be advancing to the quarterfinals. They have answered right back on a Kim Do-young RBI single. It is now South Korea 6, Australia 1. And that is exactly what Korea needed. And now here's the charts. Korea has to remain at 6-1. If they score one more run, they'll have a little bit more cushion. Australia got this. Yeah, they really do have the luxury. Yeah, they'll probably steal it in the ninth. They'll probably play some kind of spoiler. Korea has scored again. It's now 6-1, and if it stands, they will be advancing to the quarterfinals. Now, to make it more comfortable, they have to score one more run to be allowed to give up one run. So brass tacks here. We got to win by 5 or more. It's actually a lot more complicated than that, because if Korea then, here's the thing. So if Korea, here's the twisted thing. If Korea scores 8 runs, but Australia scores at least 3, then Taiwan will advance, and that will actually knock Australia and Korea out. Oh, thanks for reminding me, Paul Hyung. ESPN never updates it well. There you go. And we are back from the break. Still a lot of complicated implications. The koala has to move. The koala fan. Now here is Jones up to the plate. And they just pulled their pitcher again. Now it's O'Loughlin up to the plate. Jack O'Loughlin's now pitching. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Yeah, they really should have beaten Chinese Taipei. They really should have. It's really shocking that they didn't. Stuart Fairchild was the one that really hurt them. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Now it's 1-1. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be foul ball again. Now it's going to be 1-2. And now the pitch. Now here's going to be a grounder right to the shortstop. Throw to second. That's going to be in time. So Korea does not have a lot of room for comfort. So they cannot allow 3 runs. Like if they allow 1 more run, then they have to score 1 more. But if they allow 3 runs, it's over. So Korea really does not have room for error at all, as we are going into the bottom of the 6th inning. 4 innings left in this game. If this game stands, if the score stands, Korea should be advancing to the quarterfinals.
Try our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck.
Here it is. If you are wondering, these are the scores that are required for each team to advance. Australia does have a lot of room for comfort. Taiwan needs Korea to score 8 runs and Australia to score 3 runs to advance. Korea has to win with either a 6-1, 7-1, 7-2, or 8-2 to advance. And now we are back from the break. Now the pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball. Yeah, refer to that link, Hyung. Now a new pitcher for Korea. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. It's going to be 1-1 the count. Now it's going to be 1-1. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. That's going to be strike 2. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hits the dirt. And that's going to be 1 out. It would almost make more sense to just have Logan Paul set up a ring fight and settle the tiebreaker there. That's what it feels like, doesn't it? Can't believe you're also up as well, Fritz. Did you really wake up to either watch this game or just watch me and the pitch? Oh, and that hits him. That hits Mead. And instead of the Aussies being mad about it, they should be thankful for getting a free guy at first base, assuming he's not hurt. Terrible pitch. Nah, just around, huh? Whitefield. Whitfield's up to the plate now. As if he already does have wheels. But Korea can get out of it with a double play. Now the pitch. Now the scary thing is, if Korea gives up 2 runs, they are out of the tournament. So you cannot afford to give up anything. Literally no room for error. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. It is 1-1 so far, or 1-1 the count. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. But yeah, anytime a man's on base, it gets dangerous. Yes, Korea is out if Australia scores 2 more runs, because then Taiwan becomes in play. And if Korea scores 2 runs after that, then Taiwan advances. And I would think if it's a 6-3 situation, now the pitch. And now and at that point, I would think Korea just tanks it right after that. But Taiwan is still in a very difficult situation. So basically, if you're Taiwanese, you don't want Australia to score right now. You want Korea to score 2 more runs, and then you want Australia to score after that. And now 2-2. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a double play ball, throw to second, and a throw to first. And that is in time for the double play. And now that's going to retire the side. I feel like I'm already losing my voice for this game. And we will get into commercial break. All right, here. See if you like burgers.
Try our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck.
So Korea has to score. If they're at 7 runs, they'll be allowed to give up 1 more run to not put them pressure to score. But if Australia also scores, that will give them pressure to hold the game. So Korea really does not have room for comfort at all. And that home run from Australia really made things more difficult. This guy asked, why are 3 World Baseball Classic games at the same time in 2 different time slots? Space them out all better. I'm not going to watch your NASCAR race or other event. I'm going to turn the TV off and be annoyed that I missed more games. It's costing you watch time. Yeah, this is a baseball nut right there. Oh my goodness, look at this. You know what? I'm going to save this picture and I'm going to upload it. And we are back from the break. Now I got to upload this picture. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike. And now the pitch, and that's going to be popped up by Jung-Hoo Lee to left field, and he makes the catch. And Korea has to score 8 to knock out Taiwan. So here's the thing. Even if Korea can score 20,000 runs. But as long as Australia scores 3 or more, Taiwan will advance. So you would think that, so if Korea scores as many runs as possible, that would put Australia in a much more unfavorable position. So at this point, Korea's just got to score the living crap out of everything to put the game out of reach for Australia. So they have to score 8. They should be scoring 2 more runs at least. And now the pitch, and that's going to be inside for a ball. And on each commercial break, I will show the pictures of the tie-breaking implications. The 1-1, and that's going to be low for a ball. And now the 2-1 pitch. Low for a ball. Ball 3. Now it's 3-1. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. 3-2. I try, Paul Hyung. I try. So Australia can lose 13-3 and still advance? No, that is not true. If it's 13-3, Korea, Taiwan advances. Australia isn't scoring anything barring a catastrophic string of errors. Now the 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. And now it's going to be 3-2 the pitch, and fouled again. And On is trying to keep this alive. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball. That could be... No, that's going to be a fair ball. And he's going to get on base with a single. Australia tried to get it out. And you're saying, so Australia is playing to knock out Korea. Yeah, if they care enough. It would be for pride's sake at that point. And for trying to make a comeback. And now here is Moon up to the plate. And by the way, Moon has... He has, on all 3 at-bats, he has scored runs. Bo-kyung Moon, or Moon Bo-kyung, is up to the plate. He has scored the most RBIs in the first round, ahead of Randy Arozarena. Now the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball and a double play ball. Throw to second, throw to first, and that's going to be in time for the double play. And... while I show the commercial break, I will also show you the implications that are needed.
SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RoofTopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you.
To knock Korea out, possibly. Oh, by the way, it's the 7th inning stretch, so it's time for me to sing the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for Korea. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because they have scored these runs, and somehow it may not be enough. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out if the old ball game. But yeah, look at those score. Look at that implication. That is needed. So if Australia scores 1 more, they advance. But if Korea scores 8, so what you wanted was you wanted Korea to be at 8 runs to put the pressure on Australia, or at least put them in a mental position where it's like, what's the point? But it's World Baseball Classic. It's all about winning the game rather than getting so mathematical. And we are back from the break. They're doing another bullpen change. Oh, God, it's Dane Dunning. Are you serious? They have to do this? Now, Australia has an opportunity. Now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. And now the 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Really did not want Dane Dunning in this situation because he gave up a home run to Stuart Fairchild. He was on the Rangers, 2023 World Series champion. And now it's going to be ball 3-2. I don't understand why they put in Dane Dunning. They literally didn't they just put a pitcher in for only 10 pitches? It was Park, and you're already yanking him. Now we're at 3-2, and now the pitch. And ball 4, take your base. And that catcher was very desperate to... I think Korea may have sealed their fate. If Dane Dunning screws this up, this should be an indication that he should not make the Mariners roster. Jared Dale's up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. I was strongly against putting in Dane Dunning. You already had the other pitcher who only needed 10 pitches to get out of the inning. Now it's going to be 0-1 the pitch. Now here's going to be a ground ball. It's not going to be double play. Throw to first, and not even close. And Dane Dunning's slow legs is what caused the problem. And now, oh boy, oh my goodness, it's going to get worse. Like, I still don't understand why the manager of Korea put in Dane Dunning in a situation like this. This is still a high leverage situation. And now you need a triple play or some kind of a double play. No, just take him out right now. Take out Dane Dunning. I'm telling you, take out Dane Dunning. I wish you could hear me right now. Take him out. Like, if Dane Dunning screws this up, the Mariners should just cut him immediately. Because if he cannot go up against non-Major League Baseball players, he is certainly not going to be able to compete against Major League Baseball players. Dane Dunning is making an excellent case why he should not be on the Mariners team. And now here's the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball and foul. Take him out. He's already pitching meatballs. Get him out of here. I can tell you that Dane Dunning is not going to be on the Mariners squad. I can tell you that right now. Even if he gets out of this, the pitch. And that's going to be 1-1. Like, did Korea's manager, did he do this just to boost more ratings? Like, you're not going to benefit from this. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball. Could be double play ball. Throw to second. And the throw to first. And that is in time. And that is a double play. And now you got a runner at third base, though. But you got 2 outs. After this, get Dane Dunning out of here. And they're going to review it. They're going to challenge the call. No challenge. Yep, good thing they didn't review that. I mean, no, too bad they didn't review that because that would have taken their challenge away. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. Now it's 0-1. I can't even wear this hat. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be strike 2. And if I'm you, Korean fans, scream your freaking lungs out. And they're not. But they really should be. As we're at 0-2. And now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is going to retire the side. And why is everyone coming? Yeah, they're just coming out to congratulate. That will retire the side. South Korea gets out of an insane jam. And we're going to go to the top of the 8th inning with Korea up 6-1. Dane Dunning, who South Korea brought in, horrible idea, by the way, had 2 men on with nobody out, but Korea got out of it with a double play and a Dane Dunning strikeout. Unbelievable. Yep, Dunning. Korea once again got out of it at the skin of their teeth. Cannot believe this. Breaking news, Nicaragua has been eliminated from World Baseball Classic title contention as they fall 0-7 in tournament history. Goodbye, adios, Nicaragua. And hopefully, adios, 안녕하세요, to Australia and Taiwan. Yep, they were very happy for Dane Dunning. 2 more innings to go, 6 outs away for Korea to win. But if I were Korea, and we're back from the break, and now we got Shea Whitcomb, who is now pinch hitting. And if I were Korea, you got to score. You got to score 2 runs to really put the game out of reach. The pitch. And now here's going to be a line drive, and that's going to be a fair ball, almost going into the corner. Shea Whitcomb should be going to second base, and that's going to be a double. And Korea's trying to do everything they can to advance to the knockout stage for the right to play the winner group of the Dominican Republic and Venezuela. Until then, until that potential massacre of a game, if we get there, I still want them to advance either way. Shea Whitcomb's very happy. And now we've got Kim up to the plate. And now the pitch, he's going to go for a bunt, and that's going to be a strike. He should have dropped that in there, but he thought it was too low, which he could have popped it up. DR about to mercy rule Israel in a few hours. That's so true. As we're at 0-1, and he's going to try the bunt again. And time has been called by the pitcher. O'Loughlin did call time. And now here's O'Loughlin. And now here is the pitch. He's going for the bunt, and he gets it down and fouled. So now you cannot do the bunt anymore. It is now 0-2 for Kim. And now it's 0-2. Now here's going to be a ground ball and foul ball. That would have scored in Shea Whitcomb easily, but it will not. 대한민국 with a chant. Now they're getting really loud. And now it's the 0-2 pitch. And outside for a ball. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball as he is keeping it alive. What Korea absolutely needs to put the game really out of reach for Australia. Like, if Korea scores 2 more runs, Australia is out, and they would really have nothing to play for at that point. As we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. And low for a ball, 2-2. If Korea scores 2 more runs, the Aussies are pretty much out. And now we're at 2-2, and time has been called. As now we're at 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? He did not go, and that's going to be a full count, 3-2. Yeah, he did not get it through. Now we're at 3-2 the count. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be 1 out. If I were you, take a picture of that. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. That was outside the zone. Hats off to that man. And now it's 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2. Now they are down on strikes, getting close to that. We got some Chinese Taipei fans at the game. Now we're at 0-2. And he gets jammed up, and that's popped up, and it's going to be out of play. Korea's very much in this. If they win, if the score stands, they will advance. And okay, whoever said that. Now the pitch, low for a ball. I can't take that comment. I'm sorry. Inappropriate. As now we're at 1-2. And the pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Just absolute lazy swinging. And that is going to be 2 outs already. Korea, please score 2 more runs. We need runs in. So that way Australia could pretty much be de-incentivized. Decentivized, if that even makes sense. And now here is Shin up to the plate. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. After a Whitcomb leadoff double, as soon as you blink an eye, there's 2 strikeouts. 2 outs so far. It's going to be 6. It's 6-1 right now. 1-0 count. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And on deck is going to be Kim Do-young, which they absolutely would love to have him up in this situation. And now the 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Korea has so many lazy swings. Shin is, they're saying he's not a power hitter, which he isn't. Kim Il-sung would have been more ideal in this situation, as we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. What are you doing? It was literally hitting the dirt, and you still swung at it? Are you serious? If you just stood there, you're walking to first base. Now you're giving Australia a chance to just needing 2 runs. And now the 2-2 pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball. You better be running to throw to first in time. Are you serious? After Shea Whitcomb hits a leadoff double with nobody out, of course, they strike out immediately because of so many lazy swings. Had the Koreans just stood there and not swing, the bases could have been loaded. Give me a few more moments to just... This is exactly... It's very reminiscent of this situation. And I'll show it to you right now. And now here is the pitch. And a swing!
All 5 pitches were out of the strike zone. Literally, if he had just stood there with the bat on his shoulder, the game would be over.
Are you serious? And now here is the pitch. And a swing!
All 5 pitches were out of the strike zone. Literally, if he had just stood there with the bat on his shoulder, the game would be over.
Are you serious? That's exactly how it feels. That was the only way I could really, like, in a healthy way, like, vent off. Is just by showing that off. Oh my gosh. This game is just too close for comfort. And we are back from the break. And the pitch. And a swing and a miss. And thank goodness they took out Dane Dunning. And now the 0-1 pitch. And it's going to be up high for a ball. Kim is on the mound right now. If Australia scores one more run, they will be advancing. And now the 1-1 pitch. Way outside for a ball. Korea would even win. They would even advance on 6-2. That's weird. Weird combinations. So even at 6-2, they can still advance. And now the pitch. Way up high for ball 4. Yeah, that was more than a big win. And again, just one swing of the bat. If Korea gives up 2 runs, it's over for them. They will be mathematically eliminated. Tim Kennelly is now up to the plate. Now it's 6-1. Tim Kennelly could be his potential last at bat. So maybe he is due for a big home run. Yeah, BC says it. He could make the biggest hit of his career with one swing of the bat. And now the pitch. And he tries to bunt, and that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-1. He's going to go for the bunt, and he brings it down, and that's a beauty. Go to first base. He actually could have thrown to second base. He didn't see him, and they had a chance for a potential double play. He said second base. Miscommunication. Yeah, because he slipped, and he could have just easily thrown to second base, and he wasn't paying attention. with so much fan noises, you could only say so much. And now here's a liner, and that's going to be a foul ball. At this point, well, with Bazana up to the plate, you're not going to intentionally walk him. Because Mead's going to be up to the plate, so you cannot do an intentional walk. Now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be strike 2. That was a foul ball, but the way... I think at least for this pitch, you should try to go for the dirt and see if and try to sell him to swing and a miss. I would try to pitch at the dirt with the way he's swinging the bat. Definitely go for the dirt. Do not hang it at the middle. Not even 100-mile-an-hour fastball can save you. Not that Korea really has that kind of capacity to throw 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. As we're at 0-2, try to go for the dirt. Now the pitch. And he did exactly what I was saying, but that was a little too obvious, as that could have actually been a pass ball had the catcher not save it. The crazy thing is, if Korea, hold on, as now we're at 1-2, the pitch. And now here's going to be a liner to left field, and that is going to be a base hit. They're going to wave him around, and now here's the throw to the plate, and he is not in time. And now Korea has to score 1 run to advance to the quarterfinals on an RBI single because our dumbass pitcher wouldn't pay attention going to second base because the guy slipped. Australia not only caught a big break, now they have the opportunity to make it to the quarterfinals. And he had to play at home, but because Korea doesn't really have throwing arms, he had to play at home. Things really did get interesting. Now it makes you wonder what the implications are because of that. KBO in English, we could use you right now. Yeah, of course you got to do a pitching change after that. So here's the crazy thing. If Korea does not score any runs, if they don't score any runs in the top of the 9th inning, it could be effectively over for them. And it would be over for Taiwan. So at that point, Australia would win the game no matter what. If Korea doesn't win, I'm not going to put any YouTube shorts. I just will not be interested in doing it if Korea does not win. Korea is not mathematically eliminated yet. So right now it's 6-2. If it stands, and for some reason, if you look at the picture, this is where it's at. 6-2, Korea can somehow still advance. Depends on other weird tiebreakers, which I would not be able to understand, but either way, Korea has to keep scoring. They have to get up to 8 runs to really make it pointless for Australia. And if Korea gives up 1 run, then that will mathematically eliminate them from contention. You could give them 100-mile-an-hour chin music here to send a message. So we need to score 2 in the top of the 9th. Well, we need to score 1 in the top of the 9th inning, and then we'll be fine. This has been a very heart attack kind of game. Korea is up 6-2, but that means Australia could advance. But what's throwing me off is Korea can somehow still advance, being up 6-2. Yeah, Taekyung Kim was an idiot because he did not pay attention to second base. We got one out. Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be up high for a ball. So what Korea needs to do if they get out of this inning, they have to score 2 more runs to pretty much put it out of reach for Australia. And it's Cho Byung-hyun up to the mound. Now the throw to first, and that's going to be not in time. Curtis Mead is now up to the plate. And now the pitch, way up high for a ball, and it just gets worse for Korea. And I'll be honest, they really just don't have the pitching personnel. Like, even if they go to the quarterfinals against Dominican Republic and Venezuela, it will be a mercy rule game. This is not 2006, 2009. And now the 2-0 pitch, and low for ball 3. And you can tell the catcher is so desperate to sell the frame. Now the pitch. Ball 4, take your base on 4 straight pitches. The pitching is just absolutely terrible. The crazy thing is Korea can still get out of this inning with 1 swing of the bat, which would be a double play. If Korea gives up 1 run, it's over. Yeah, I think you should just pull him out. It's just not working. You're not going to talk him through this. Just bring out someone else. It's just not working. You gave up a walk on 4 pitches. It's not going to get any better. And he won't pull him out. That may just be the downfall. Yep, it is all falling off a cliff for Korea. Whitefield is 0 for 2. And that is a strike. And the catcher was really that desperate to sell the frame. Now it's 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball foul. So it's actually going to be 0-2. Complete opposite of what the last at-bat was. Korea has to get out of this inning. They give up 1 run. They are mathematically eliminated from quarterfinals contention. Because that will put Taiwan in play. And now the 0-2. And that's going to be up high for a ball, 1-2. If you think about it, if Australia scores 1 more run, what's in it for Korea to even score those 2 runs to begin with? If they give up that 3rd run, and now the 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. That is exactly what they needed. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and now we've got 2 outs. So they do runs allowed divided by total out differential, which is really weird. Now it's up to the plate is next guy. Now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. That's Alex Hall. And even if Korea gets out of this inning with Alex Hall, you still have to deal with 2 hitters that have been hitting combined 3 for 6. Now the pitch. And that is a strike. So it's still going to be tough, even if Korea scores 1 or 2 more runs. But you got to score 2 runs to put Australia out of reach. And now the pitch. And now it's going to be popped up, and that's going to end the inning. Korea is still very much alive, but this is their last shot. If Korea does not score, it's over for them. Of course, Korea has to give up a run because their pitcher did not pay attention that the base runner at first base on a bunt, they didn't pay attention that he slipped. Everyone was saying throw to second, still ignored it, and then they give up a run. And if Korea does not score, it's over. I got to go to the bathroom. So it's simple. Korea has to score 1 run to put them back in contention, but they have to score 2 runs to put it out of reach for Australia. Of course, a bunch of eggheads made up these weird tie-breaking rules rather than just let them play and do a tournament. But these things happen. It does. Because it garners, I think what it was, it garners more attention and conversations. I think it was another excuse to try to advertise this tournament to put them in competition with the World Cup. Now the pitch. That's going to be outside for a ball. And we are back from the break, and he is trying to start this off with a bunt, which I would not do. As we're at 6-2, and now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. It looked like it could have been a home run, but it was drifting slightly foul. Now the pitch, low for a ball. And the pitch, low for a ball, 3-1. And now the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4, take your base. And now there's an opportunity still. Korea has to score 1 run or it's over. The fact that broadcasters are still confused about the tiebreaker shows how and now here's Jones up to the plate. And now here's a pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Effectively, if Korea scores 2 more runs, there's not going to be much of a reason for Australia to score any more. Because that will just put Taiwan in. Now here's the pitch. Low for a ball. That's going to be 2-0. And if you have a pinch runner at first base, I think you should try to consider stealing. The chant of Teaminguk needs to be louder. It's 2-0. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike one. Now we're at 2-1. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up, and that's not going to get it done. And Kennelly makes the catch, and that's going to be 1 out. So it's 2 outs away from Australia. It's now 2 outs away from Australia actually advancing. Now here's Jung-Hoo Lee up to the plate. He has an opportunity to get it done. And the throw back to first. And that's going to be not in time. He has an RBI and a double. And he did score off that double. The intensity of this game increases as it goes. And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. And again, it's going to be the runs formula. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a ground ball off the glove. And now the throw to second. That gets away. And now he's going to go to third base. And now the potential advancing situation is now 90 feet away. Korea caught an absolute break. And now, if they score one more run, then Korea will be back in contention to make it to the quarterfinals. But they should score at least 2 more runs. It was off the glove. That did not help at all. And it was a wild throw, which got him to third base. And again, the 3 or more team tie, if the head-to-head cannot break tie, the formula is this: total runs allowed divided by total defensive outs. My God. And now here is On up to the plate. And now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep right field. That should bring in a run. He makes the catch and tagging at third. And the throw to the plate, and it is not in time. And Korea is now, they are in position to make it to the quarterfinals. But, however, Korea has to score 1 more run to potentially put Australia out of reach. So it is still far from over. But now, man, it was on that sacrifice fly. No, it's not it. It's just in position to pitch. And that is a strike. But right now, Moon, he's the guy. He is 3 for 4. Fritz, here's the thing. If Australia scores 1 more run, they will advance no matter what. In the pitch. And that's going to be strike 3 called. All I can say is buckle your freaking seatbelts. Go drink some water. I'm going to go drink some water. I'm going to play... I'll play this. Put you guys in the mood for some
Try
food.
our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck.
This guy said it best. Hesung Kim Mew says, whether they advance or not, whether South Korea advances or not, can we all agree that these tiebreaker rules are super annoying? If Korea don't score in the top 9th, yeah, they will, yeah. Taiwan is pretty much out of playoff contention or knockout contention at this point, unless something crazy does happen in the 9th inning. But here's the thing. If Australia scores one more run, then they really don't really have anything to play for after that. So now that it's 7-2, now the pitch. These tiebreaker rules are just absolutely annoying. Now it's 1-0, by the way. And now here is the pitch. And that was missing it for a ball. The umpire just won't give it to him. Hey, umpire, don't you just want to just end this game already? Just give yourself less headache on this one. Now the 2-0 count. Now here is the pitch. And that is a strike. 3 outs away, and Korea will win if they don't give up any runs. Whitcomb's going to be at third base. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fouled back, and that looked like that could have gone anywhere. What is bunch of people don't play? What it is, bunch of people don't even play overthink the entire thing, kind of screw it up. Like a sign of the times. Couldn't be any more correct, Fritz. And now the 2-2. And now here's going to be a liner and fouled. And it's not like there's any room for comfort for Joe to like pitch it outside the strike zone, because you do not want to be put on a 3-2 situation. Dane Dunning was kind of the hero. And now the 2-2. And check swing, he does not go. That's going to be 3-2. Joe tried to sell it to him on trying to swing that pitch, but it was too obvious of a ball. And you do not want to get a runner on first base or any base for Australia if you are Korea. The 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be fouled again. And this game just keeps getting more intense. Had Korea just taken care of business against Taiwan, had they just taken care of business, it would have been pretty much over at this point. And now here is the 3-2 pitch. And strike 3 called, and that is going to be 1 out. And the magic number of outs is now 2. And now here's the next batter up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that catcher is just so desperate on selling that frame. Korea is playing with a lot of desperation. Australia, for the first time in the tournament, playing with a lot of nervous energy. Yep, this is exactly what it's turned out. And now the 1-0. Up high for a ball. You just pull this guy out. It's just not working. And now we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. It really should be 1-2. And now here is the 2-1. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. That's what you'll take, as we're now at 2-2. And this game is absolutely far from over. Now we're at 2-2, and now the pitch way up high for the ball, and the catcher, he has been the most desperate at trying to sell that frame. But if you walk this guy, it's going to get very dangerous. As now we're at 2 outs away, and now the 3-2, and ball 4, take your base. Take this guy out now. It's just not working. He has 25 pitches in. He's not really pitching strikes at all. It's just it. Is there like any closers for this thing right now? You get 1 run in, Australia pretty much advances. Or even Type A might be able to. I'm sorry. It's Australia, the pitch. Way up high. Okay, no, please. Take him out. I am begging you. Take him out. But they're not going to because Wingrove is 0 for 3. Pet peeve is not pulling a late reliever quick when he really doesn't have it. It's just not working at all. You got to pull him out now. This manager is like Scott Service in a way. There's something with these Korean managers. I just don't trust them. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. There's a reason why South Korea barely hires Korean coaches anymore. Maybe like half the time at best. Their soccer team I'm talking about. Rickson Wingrove is now 2 for 13 in this series. He is 0 for 3 today, but he has a chance to be the hero. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike 2. The game just feels so far away. The drama just continues. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. And ball 2. And the catcher is so desperate. I've never seen a catcher so desperate to sell a frame. And now here's going to be the 2-2. Now the pitch. And now here's going to be a fly ball to deep right field. And that is caught a sliding catch. And now the throw back to first, not the double play. And now Korea is just 1 out away from advancing to the quarterfinals. The magic number is just 1. Thank you for the tip, Fritz. I really needed it. Maybe this can go towards my next heart attack surgery or something. It was an amazing sliding catch. But now, you still got 1 out to go. And now it is going to be, Wade is going to be the pinch hitter because Perkins is 0 for 2. This is all desperation. Now the pitch outside for ball. Please take him out. Just take him out. Effectively, with 2 outs, you would think that Taiwan's pretty much out of this game. We're at 1-0. And after this, no matter how it goes, I'm taking a freaking nap. Now the 1-0. And man, I've never seen a catcher so desperate to sell the frame. I've never seen a catcher so desperate to sell the frame until the Korea Aussie game. Now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up, and this should do it. He should be there. He makes the catch, and Korea is going to the quarterfinals. 대한민국! 대한민국! They're going to the quarterfinals for the first time, knockout stage since 2009. Oh my goodness. It ended just like that. On what Korea needed was an absolute offensive explosion out of this game. Australia is out. Taiwan is out, and Korea is advancing to the knockout stages again since 2009. The last time Korea made it to the quarterfinals or any kind of a knockout stage was when Ichiro was on the Mariners. Barack Obama was the president. I was in high school. That's how long it's been. And boy, was it worth it to completely wake up for this, as if we all thought Korea just did not have it anymore. And now they get to live for another few days. I cannot believe it. I'm just absolutely just... I've never been so happy. It was on an easy pop-up. It did not have to get complicated. I don't know what to say. But where's my... This is what I needed. Oh, man. Please, I want to cry for this moment. So many crying fans in Korea. Oh. Oh. It started with a Jung-hoo Lee. Oh. Oh my God. Yeah, so South Korea will play on Friday the 13th in the afternoon, Pacific Daylight Time. They will be going up either likely the team of Venezuela or Dominican Republic, or maybe even Israel, but they're most likely going to play the Dominican Republic, and we all know how that game is going to go. It's just absolutely insane how this game ended. Australia is coming out to be congratulated by their fans for giving it such an amazing effort. I mean, credit to Australia. They really played a really good tournament. It just came up short for them. Korea literally got out of it at the skin of their teeth. They were just one run short of making it to the quarterfinals. But man, Tim Kennelly, no one feels the emotion more than he does. Yeah, it's going to be tough when you go up against Dominican Republic. You're going up against the likes of Julio Rodriguez. That is not going to be an easy camper. Oh, I'm just trying to take some time to just soak it in because I just can't believe what just happened in this tournament. Like, back then, back in 2006 and 2009, you pretty much just took it, us Koreans, you just took it for granted. You literally just took it for granted that Korea was just going to be a regular contender, and now they're not so much anymore. Yep, Korea secures on a 3-way tie. I can't believe it. Ugh. Nope, they don't have to. Finally, a knockout stage, but only to possibly go up against Dominican Republic. And the fact that Julio is their 7th hitter on the lineup says it all. Even Shohei Ohtani praised the Korea team. Anyways, I gotta take off. I gotta put up some videos. I'm gonna put up at least 3. And then I'm gonna go to sleep. But again, everyone, Paul Hyung, thank you for being here. Sandra, Kong, thank you for not only donating to the channel, joining the membership, but thank you for being here. Fritz, thank you for being here. Who else shout outs can I give? BC, thank you for being so annoying, but I love it. But I gotta go. I gotta put up some videos and I gotta get some sleep because I obviously only got like 2 hours of sleep for this. And now I can say in retrospect, it was all worth it. Everyone, thank you for being here. 감사합니다. And I will see you all on Friday the 13th. Have a good night, everyone.